Good morning, Warzone kids. I've done some videos about Zen, and only got a couple more to do, and then I'm going to move on to the next one of the 3 pearls of healing I would talk about, which are Zen, Jungian analysis, and healing circles. But the thing about Zen that can't go unremarked upon, and I'm a practitioner. That is it. I'm a practitioner. Is exactly that word. It's a practice. What does that mean? I want to draw. Let me talk about 12-step. Many of us Warzone kids have some kind of relationship with some kind of 12-step program. Not everyone does. But you can hear all kinds of stuff about 12-step programs from the outside, tearing them to shreds, talking about them, from the outside, thinly veiled Christianity, doesn't work, on and on and on. And you talk to any addict, any alcoholic, anyone who's had their life saved by the life raft that they found in the rooms of recovery, and they'll just find all that stuff annoying because it ain't the point. Because 12-step is a practice. What I mean by that is you can get your copy, you can get your hands on a copy of the 12 steps and the 12 traditions. The blue book of Alcoholics Anonymous, the big blue book of Narcotics Anonymous, the green and gold book, whatever you want. And you can tear it to shreds, you can read it and find all kinds of stuff wrong with it. For addicts like myself who've ever found a life raft in 12-step, it means something different. There came a day when if I hadn't gone to a 12-step meeting, I was going to relapse. And as an addict, I know now that you can always relapse, but you can't always come back. Many, many addicts are taken out because they want to get high one last time. And when you go to 12-step and you do it, it's a practice. You go to the meetings, you physically go to the meetings, you chant, you recite the steps and the traditions, you chant some prayers and things. There are placards on the wall with all kind of one-liners, something to get you through the day. Let go and let God. When you come to the frayed end of your rope, just hold on. See the Serenity Prayer up there. When you get a sponsor, your sponsor will walk you through the steps. And you'll start off with the first one. We admitted that we are powerless over our addiction, that our lives have become unmanageable. And you come to see that that's not a statement about the universe. It's not a grand proclamation that you're powerless. It's about your mental state. It says we admitted that we were powerless and that our lives have become unmanageable. And you work through that. What does that mean? You talk with your sponsor. You go through all the steps like that. And your life has changed. You go and you get a series of different colored chips or different colored key tags. And you learn from someone that stands up and shares about how they've got 30 years of clean time. They say, no, I don't. I have a lot of 24 hours strung together in a row. That's all you can ever do is go to bed tonight without getting high. That's it. That's all you have to do. Walk today's miles. You can do that. Any day that an addict goes to a 12-step meeting is a day that addict is very unlikely to relapse. It happens. I know a fellow who walked out of a 12-step meeting and robbed a gas station across the street. It happens. Not very often. It's a practice. Zen is a practice. You can go get the Wikipedia article and read about Zen. And most of what you learn in there is not even going to be accurate at all. You probably read about reincarnation and koans and enlightenment. And if all that pushes you to find a way to sit on a cushion and look at the wall, then it's good. If reading all that stuff leads to you reading more of that stuff and tearing it to shreds and doling out lectures about how you don't believe in mysticism and spirituality and all that stuff that ain't in it anyway, then you're no different than an addict sitting there with a needle hanging down their arm talking about how they don't go to 12-step because they don't want to believe in God. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. It's a practice. You sit on your cushion, you look at the wall, and just see if you don't find out after a while that things are different in very much the same way that they're different for an addict who finds that the first 24, 48, 72 hours, the first week or two are extraordinarily challenging. You're white knuckling it, you're barely holding on, all of that. You can't wait to get that first key tag. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And then at some point, you look up, you wake up, and you realize your life's different. When did it happen? Well, it happened. What is it that did it? Where's the magic? It happened. You dragged yourself into that meeting the first day. You went to bed that night without getting high or without doing whatever it is that you do. And after a period of time goes by, life is different. It's just different. That's all. Same as it is with my experience in Zazen. You sit on the cushion, you look at the wall. When you notice that you're carried away with your thoughts, you just remember that all you're doing is sitting there looking at the wall, sitting on the cushion. It's fine. Then, 1/8 of a second later, when you realize you're carried away, you say to yourself, what I'm doing with my life right now is I'm sitting on this cushion looking at the wall. That's what you do. After a while, things are different. In ways that you can't anticipate or explain very clearly. But it's just different. That's why Zen stays in my rucksack. That's why it's a practice. If you go on and on with it, eventually, you probably get the idea that there's more where that came from. And you might want to go sit with other people. You might want to start reading stuff about Zen. You might want to start looking into it more. That's most excellent. Do that. But sit on your cushion and look at the wall. It's a great day, pilgrim. When your bell goes off and you get up off your cushion, or you put your rosary down, or you put your Star Trek episode down, or you turn off the music, or you stop doing whatever it is that you do to bring yourself a little bit of moment of peace and togetherness with yourself. Get up, put them shoes on, and hit the road. We got today's miles to walk on the trail to the Western Lands, the place of peace and wholeness. Let's walk them together, pilgrim. It's nice to have some company.